much appreciated. Otherwise, we could be pretty limited on that front. So, yeah, if anyone wants to help out, just send me a message now and I'll get you set up. It's not very difficult. You don't have to talk. You can just sit here looking through the field. As it looks like Ollie Marius has just had a bit of a spin. I don't think he hit anything. Looks like he should be okay to keep on going.
Lost the rear end all of his own.
And Michael Springer is in the pits. This is an awkward time to be pitting. And Michael Folger has been involved in something because he's showing us red on my screen, so maybe a bit of damage for him somewhere along the line.
I'm thinking about the Racetech P1 car. Didn't they pit early? Last time around as well.
Could be their second stop, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I think that it's just that they're out of sync with the rest of the field.
We haven't seen much of the P2 cars today, so I think there's a battle going for 15th and 14th and 15th, I believe, yeah. So that's in 14th is Patrick Weyrek for Killerfish Racing, and he's got the UKNL of Alvin Nieves just behind him. So this is for 5th and 6th overall in P2 class. Still got 9 P2 cars running, 9 P1 cars, and
there was a P2 car in the wall, I see.
Michael Folker's in the pit, so there obviously was some damage on that lap. But this is an unscheduled pit stop for them.
And it was Thierry Charlotte I did see off the road for e-racing propulsion. He's facing the wrong way on the grass. He's back going again now, and there doesn't seem to be any damage to the car, so no harm done.
So I think we missed this, but Stefan Miel's now 3rd in GT. He's been jumped by the Chrysler Viper of Sasha Glatter, who is now 2nd in GT.
Looking at the lap times, it doesn't seem to be all that different. Both of them are quite close.
Yep, I didn't see how long the pit stop was, so maybe they're double stinting some tyres, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, that might be the cause. Let's see the pit stop of Sasha Glatter there. Hello. Why don't I find any pit stops on that? Is he still going on the original amount of fuel? That sounds...
He shouldn't be. It's showing up. He has made a pit stop on the live timing. Let me see if I can get it up.
I don't see any lap times that could indicate the pit stop on.
He pitted on lap 10, I believe.
Aha. Ah, there you go. So he might just be a bit faster than Alvin now because he's further down into the fuel.
Ah, yes, I remember coming into the final corner. He was it the Optimum car?
Yeah, that's right.
And then he pitted straight away, so that's why it looks like he's coming under pressure now. He's gonna go side by side. I will be back in a few minutes' time, so I'll leave you in the capable hands of Roy. I'm just going to go and check on my team.
Alright. A little bit of a gap now from Glatter down to Amiel. probably did look a bit more scared than it was. Martin's going down the inside and not far enough to make that lapping being done before the hairpin. And taking the wise decision to back off and rather go past the exit rather than dive bombing on the inside. Yeah, it seems like Glatter is having a somewhat higher speed around the circuit than Amiel at the moment. Of course, he is a bit out of sync with the rest of the field with his fuel, so he is coming towards the end of his fuel load. And has less kilos of car to drag around the circuit. So, is anything funny going on in the chat room? So we are discussing some Formula 1 further down there. I'll not take that up. So we are 1.5 hours into the race. And a bit more. We've obviously seen most of the P1 cars, but we can do a little rundown of how we are on the circuit at the moment. Matt Farrow leading the race. He's some 9 seconds ahead of Peter Enders. This was on the timing, is not anymore. They go over the line to 7 seconds now. Third position is Christian Fierge for No Limit. In fourth position we find Philip Marty for Exigence Sim Racing. Fifth position, Mikael Volker for E-Racing Propulsion. Sixth position we have what happened now? Was nothing. Heard some sounds in my headset. Nothing serious. Where are we? We are on sixth position, are we? Yeah. Mateusz Bogus for Fierce Poland. Sixth position in P1. Seventh we find Maurice Ducker for Optima Motorsport. So they are ahead of their Audi R10 rivals at the moment. 7th position. 8th position is Christian Ackermann for Rhinos Esport E1. That easy to spot Audi R18. 9th position in the race. It's the leading P2 car of Manuel Bickler for Motorsport for All. They have got themselves quite a gap. 10th position is the final running P1 car of Michael Springer for Racetech OMT. We did see have a pit stop a couple of laps ago. 11th position is the second position in P2. It's Steven Secker for No Limit Motorsport. But they are on the podium in both P1 and P2. 12th position overall, it's Polo Martins for Atlantic Racing Team. Doing a good job. 13, it's Manuel Nemczek for Speedy Gonzalez. P2. And in 14th position we have Alvin Nieves driving for UKNL. 5th position in P2 in the Acura. 15th position overall, it's Patrick Vedek for Killerfish Racing in a Porsche. 16th position is Temi Tuika for SRS Racing in the Acura that we've seen facing the wrong way a couple of times already. 17th position and entering the pits is Thierry Charlotte for E-Racing Propulsion in P2. 8th position in P2. And that's a bit early for a pit stop again, isn't it? Not that long ago since they had a pit stop last time. They've only driven 7 or 8 laps since their previous pit stop. So that suggests that something has happened there. 18th position in the race is Konrad Barre. It's the final running P2 car in 9th position in P2 for Feedersport Poland. 19th position we have Wilfried van der Brink for SimRacing Holland, the leading GT car. As you can see, it's got quite a gap now to the 2nd position GT car with this, which is Steph Amiel for RC Racing. Uh, 21st overall, that's 3rd in GT, that's Benjamin Thierman for No Limit Motorsport. So they have actually one car in each category and they're on the podium in each category as well. Being passed by one of their sister cars. Number 22, that's Sasha Engelhardt for Killerfish Racing in GT. That's also a Porsche. There's really nothing in between these two cars that are fighting for position that you have on screen. 23rd, a little bit behind then, is Thomas Wackerbauer for No Limit Motorsport in their Ferrari. That's 5th position in GT. Ferrari 458. 24th, and in a lot of traffic, it's Xavi Martinez for T2SP Endurance. Right on his tail is Renato Donels for O5 Motorsport. Do we have a pass then down into the hairpin? I think we have. Can he help? No, yeah, it's true. A very good pass. Then down to 25th then with Martinez and T2SP, as we did see Renato Donel go past with the O5 Motorsport Porsche. 26th position we have Mike Voigt for M Technology. That is 8th position in GT. He is driving along more or less alone on the circuit at the moment. 27th overall we have Stan Osterdahl for online SimRacing.de. 9th position in GT. Also in a Porsche. 28th position we have Roger Decline, for Scuderia Bollus Negro in a Ferrari. And behind him in hitting the right button might help. 29th position we have Thibaut Vanez for the Black Road Racing. Very nice livery on that silver and black BMW. 30th position overall and 12th position in GT is Oliver Ernst for Motorsport for All. So that's been a driver swap then in that car. Who we did see was running sized third, I think, in the GT category a little while ago. And that's a genuine fight for position as Ian Bundell goes through on the inside into the Sunset Bend, the final corner of the circuit. Alvin Nieves is getting slightly blocked on the exit. That's a positional change for the second 05 Motorsport car as well done. Ian Bundell moving up one position into 30th and 12th in GT. And we can see the second Viper of Ole Marius Myhrvold is quite close behind as well. 14th in GT, 32nd overall. Rolling along nicely. Made up quite a lot of positions since the race start. 33rd position overall, we have Atlantic Racing in a BMW, and Ryan Walker is still behind the wheel. He did start the race for them. Hitting the right button again. 34 overall and 16 in GT, that's Ricky Martinez for Rhinos Esport. The GT entry. 35th position, it's Robin Toll for the Rare Endurance team. And they've got an R in their name as well, so I guess that's a reserve car for them as well. 36th overall and lap 47. 18th in GT, that's Liam Fassam for Simtech Motorsport. Also driving a Porsche, so big grid of Porsches in the G category this time around. And in 37 overall and a full running car on the list, it's Neil Tasker for Ace Motorsport, who I did see in the chat room that he would do some camera work for us later on when he was finished with his stint, so I'll take him up on that offer.
What's that? Sorry, I'm back. Someone cooked me a burger, so I had to run down and get it. So, what have I missed?
Well, you've missed both the 05 Motorsport GT cars moving up positions when I've done the rundown.
Oh, you had to scare me there for a second. I thought you were going to say you missed both 05 Motorsport GT cars disconnecting or something.
Well, thinking about it, that's what I should have said.
Who have we got that's offered to come and do some camera work?
The guy on screen at the moment, Neil Tasker, said he would help us out later on when he's done with his driving. And there isn't more than 3, 4, 5 laps since he got into the car, so hello and welcome to the race to him as well. So is there any huge battles going on around the circuit, or are we still... Well, listening to those noises, I'm starting to get hungry as well.
So I'll try and avoid those. I think battle for 22nd overall. Although that's just increased a little bit. Ryan Walker's showing up as being close with someone.
Well, 2.6 seconds down to Ramirez.
Oh, it's
well, probably was in the screen with him there. But this is a nice sight. It's Ole Marius Myhrvold going another position up, as we have a white Peugeot going into the pits in the background. It's not Matt Farrow, that's Who is that? That's Mateusz Bogusz for Feeder Sport Poland in 6th position overall. And he has been in the car since the start. But it's, well, an hour and 45 minutes into the race. That's a bit early to have that pit stop. Or are they out of sync as well?
I think they're out of sync because of that damage that he had early on in the race. But maybe we might see a driver swap now.
Could quite possibly be. He's in there for quite a long while. Yes, it is. So, hello then to Damian Budcin, who has taken over that Feeder Sport Poland P1 car. They have some cars further down the field as well. And it looks like he will join in 6th, or is it 7th? Because the Optimum Motorsport P1 car is zooming past, so then Budcin will return to the circuit in 7th position. P1 category we have these three cars that has pulled away. Quite a big gap, and it's 10 seconds between the two first, and 3 seconds between number 2 and number 3. From number 3 to number 4 we have 1 minute and 20 seconds. So that's half a lap of distance.
I think Matt Farrow has slowly been pulling away from Peter Enders. It was around 8 seconds, about 15-20 minutes ago. I don't know if Enders is being caught by the 3rd place man, Page.
Well, there are some distance between them. It's showing up 4 seconds on my screen now. I guess that the traffic is playing a bit of a role back and forth. So easy to lose that extra second or two behind a GT or a P2 car at the right points of the circuit.
Still 37 cars on track, so still a lot of traffic going on. As I believe that was the Optimum Motorsport Audi R10 going in for a pit stop. Let's see if there's a driver swap here.
Yeah, because Maurice has been into the car since the very beginning as well.
Yep, so this looks like tyres and fuel. We'll see if there is a driver swap. I think there will be, judging by this time. There we go, Bradley Vanian gets into the car. No issues there.
The team manager then is behind the wheels of his car.
Hopefully he can have an incident-free stint and keep them going. At the moment, decent points for them if they can stay in 7th or 8th, but they've lost position to Christian Ackermann. What just happened there? I wasn't looking at the broadcast.
He was just going a bit too wide through the first corner and onto the grass.
Well, I'm sure that's going to set the tone, I'm sure, for the stint, so let's see if he can relax and get his head down and mind his own business, just put in some decent laps. Looks like there's a battle here as Uli Marius Mirvold is on a bit of a mission, so he's coming up to the back of the second 05 Motorsport car. So this is Ian Buntel had an issue, I think, in the final corner, so he had to pit early and took some damage to the back of that car. So Revolt is just behind him. About a second between them.
Yep, and the question now is how far can Ole Marius go on this tank of fuel, because he was in quite early to be a GT last time around. And it probably should be Erik Tveit who is taking over the car at the next pit stop for the RMI Motorsport Viper. But we'll see.
Yep, this is where the Viper should close in. Down this straight, let's see if we can get top speeds. Obviously completely different driving view there for the Viper. Sitting quite far back, with such a huge bonnet.
Yeah, the Viper is capable of doing somewhere around 250.
Just behind him, that was the Conrad Bar, I believe. Not quite sure what he was doing there. Let's watch a replay. Getting close and personal, here he comes. And tries to decide that he's going to take the same line as the car directly in front of him. Pretty much schoolboy error there. Don't quite understand the mindset of doing that. You can go inside, you can go outside, and yet the line chosen was to go through the car in front, and obviously that's not going to work. I suppose we can give the P2 leader some more airtime. And he is in and fighting with P1 cars, as he is in 8th place overall and leading P2. He's got 2 P1s behind him, Bradley Vanian and Michael Springer. Second and 21 seconds back, I believe, or could be even more, is Steven Secker, I believe you have on the screen at the moment for the No Limit team. They've got 4 cars out there today, so great showing from them. Third, and making the best of so far miserable day for the Atlantic P2 guys is Paolo Martin, so strong showing for him. Obviously their number 1 P2 car suffered router issues early on in the race and DNF'd. They were the first to DNF in this race, so I'm sure this will be bringing back some sort of enjoyment for that team as they're going along nicely. Quite a lot of traffic on this back straight, as we see. I believe that could have been Felipe Marti if he's still driving that P1 car. He should be up to 4th. Yes, it was. He seemed to be hitting with a lot of traffic down that back straight as he comes up to Oli Marius Mirvold. The GT car in the pits there. Didn't see who that was. I believe that's the second 05 Motorsport, Ian Bandel, in the pits, and I believe this will be a driver's swap. Changing tyres as well. I believe Lee Palmer's getting into the car, making his debut for 05 Motorsport today, also taking part in the V8 race later.
This is on lap number 54 then for the 05 car. Last time they were into the pits were lap 17, so they've done quite a lot of laps on that full tank of fuel.
Roy Schroten is saying very shortly he'll be taking over the SRS car. There we go, Lee Palmer takes over from Ian Bandel. They're going to be quite a way down the order.
So we're closing in on the 2-hour mark then. And I'll make a short jump over to my team and see how everything is going on.
Yep, okay, well I'll look after it while you're gone. Suppose could be a good time to run down through the order. Currently leading the race by about 10 seconds, so it's the same as it was about 5-10 minutes ago. It's Matt Farrow for 05 Motorsport. Second place is Peter Enders for Atlantic Racing Team. Third place, Christian Fedge for No Limit. Fourth place, Felipe Marti for Exigence Sim Racing. Fifth place, Michael Folker for E-Racing Propulsion. Sixth place in P1 is Christian Ackerman for the Rhinos Esports team. Seventh place, recovering Damien Budson for Feeder Sport Poland. Ninth place overall and 8th place in P1 is Bradley Vanian for Optima Motorsport. And 10th place and 9th overall in P1 is Michael Springer for Racetech OMT. The leading P2 car is Mike Manuel Bickler for Motorsport for All. Steven Zecker for No Limit Motorsport is driving in second place in P2. Third place, we saw him a little bit earlier, is Paolo Martins for Atlantic Racing Team number 2 in P2 class. Fourth place is Alvin Nieves for UK NL. Fifth place in P2, Manuel Nemechek for Speedy Gonzalez. Sixth place in P2 is Patrick Wyrick, for Killerfish Racing. 16th and 17th, 7th overall in P2 class is Timu Toika, soon to be handing over to Roy Schroten. 8th in P2 class is Conrad Barr for Feeder Sport Poland. Seen them in the mix quite a lot so far this race, both P2 and P1 cars, as he's just passed by second place overall, Peter Enders. And 9th and the final runner in P2 class and 18th overall is Anthony De Maria for E-Racing Propulsion. Then we're on to the GT class where we have 19 runners, although we've had a DNF. Just let me quickly update you on that. It's Thomas Backenborough for No Limit. There's no replay of that, so not sure what's happened to them. Back to the order, 19th overall and leading P1 coming up to lap. The RMI Motorsport Viper is Wilfred Vanderbrink driving for Sim Racing Holland. Second in GT is Stefan Miel for RC Racing Team. Third GT is Sasha Engelhardt for the Killerfish team. Fourth place in GT is Benjamin Tierman for No Limit. Fifth place is Renato Dornelles for 05 Motorsport number 1. Sixth place, Xavi Martinez for T2 SP Endurance Team. Seventh in GT is Mike Voigt for M Technology. Stan Osterdahl still in the car for online simracing.de. He is 8th overall. 9th is Scuderia Bolsonaro driver Roger de Klein. 10th is Thibaut Vernice. They entry into the series for Black Road Racing. 29th overall and 11th in class is Ollie Marius Meervold for RMI Motorsport. 12th is Oliver Ernst for Motorsport for All in that Viper. We've seen up and down the order quite a bit as it's out of position with pit stops. 31st and 13th in class is Ryan Walker for Atlantic Racing Team. Lee Palmer is 32nd overall and he is in 14th for 05 Motorsport number 2. 33 Robin Cole for Rare Endurance is 15th overall. 16th is Ricky Martinez for the Rhinos Esport team, currently in the pits just behind Ollie Marius Meervold. 17th is the DNF of Thomas Vackenborough, so that'll soon be Neil Tasker, who is 18th overall. 19th and last of the runners is Shane Burke, who's taken over from Liam Fassam, so welcome to the race. Shane driving for Simtech Motorsports in that Porsche 997. So, less than 10 hours to go now, 9 hours, 59 minutes and 10 seconds, so still a long way to go. Not even a quarter of the way into the race, so we've got another half an hour till we get to 25%. Matt Farrow's increased the lead a little bit, so it's up to around 11 seconds between him and Peter Enders. Matt Farrow, I believe, he doesn't have the fastest lap of the race. The fastest lap of the race is by the Rhinos Esports team, Christian Ackerman, who's down in 8th place overall and 7th in P1. He holds the fastest lap of the race at 140.413. And we have a few P2 cars in the pits, as we're expecting. This is the pit stop time, so it's going to be a busy time in the pits with all the prototypes coming in. The 05 car obviously will be coming in before the Atlantic, because the Atlantic team seems to be a bit better on fuel economy. But I don't think it'll really matter if you can get 60 minutes out of the car. You should be fine, as it's a 12-hour race, so you're not going to gain or lose a stop. Only if you're doing 55-minute stints will you be in danger of having to make a splash and dash at the end. That's Matt Farrow pits in the first box in the pit lane. So Peter Enders takes the lead, so we'll be expecting him to go 1 lap longer here, or maybe 2 with the lap extra he did earlier. Also got Timu Toika in the pits, so this should be fuel and tyres and a driver swap. We should see him come down off the jacks any second now. And Roy Schroten should appear if everything goes to plan. So the stop looks a little bit longer than normal. And there we are, Roy Schroten takes control. He moves, so a successful driver swap there for SRS Racing. Apart from that, the pit lane is empty at the moment, and Roman Lubcic has taken over the 05 Motorsport P1 car. So he's second overall. We'll see, he should hold the lead. And Peter Enders comes in. Unless Peter Enders does an extra stop, then it'll be close, because the gap was around 11 seconds before the stops. So it'll take away the 6 or 7 seconds for a driver swap. Felipe Marte's in the pits. See, this could be a driver swap here.
Hello.
As I've been joined by Matt Farrow.
Hello.
Hello, Matthew.
How's it going?
It's going well. Excellent stint for you there on your birthday. How old are you today?
18.
18. I think you're clinging on to the teenage years. Aren't you 21 or 22 today?
22.
Well, many happy returns. That looked like a very, very good stint. Any issues at all?
No, not really. All the GT cars are great. I think I hit a couple. Yeah, it was all good. The first stint was quite good fun at the start, when I think we were 3 wide down the straight at one point. And
yeah, we got that on the broadcast. It looked pretty scary because there was a huge amount of GT traffic.
Yeah, I think I was on the outside going into turn 1, and I just couldn't see anything in my mirrors either, so I just kind of tried to hang it out wide. I think I got Enders at that point, but and then I spun it like a tool. But yeah, it's all fun.
So that's you done for the day. Obviously you're going out to party hard, are you?
Mhm.
And yeah, well, did you double stint the hard tyres?
Yeah, I think everyone did, except for Mueller.
Yeah, they did a driver swap, didn't they? I don't think they swapped tyres though, because it was like a 30-second stop. But yeah, so hard tyres again.
Yep.
And what's Roma's race pace looking like?
No idea. He's just going to try and keep it on the road, and yeah, I think we're just going to be happy to finish. To be honest, at one of these 12-hour events, so many people DNF. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, and
thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your birthday.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your stint as well when you do it.
Oh, thank you. So it's not every day you get to hear Matt Farrow being so polite as a driver to a team manager, so I did enjoy that. And you're back, Roy. Do you have some news? Oh no, he's muted. We've got George Poland here. I didn't see you come in.
No, I just sneaked in, George.
How's it going, George?
All's doing fine. I heard your invitation to come to the broadcast booth early on, and I waited with that until we did our first successful swap, and Alvin just handed over the car to Theo. Alvin put the car on 7th in P2, and he entered the pit to hand over the car to Theo in 4th, so he did a tremendous job during his stint.
Oh, it's a great stint, and he's handing over to a very experienced, decent driver, Theo Battery.
Exactly. Yeah, I put together a whole new team for this, as you mentioned in the broadcast. We used to do a GT, but this time I thought let's try P2, and you need drivers who are really experienced in handling a car like that, and Theo, Alvin and Brian are exactly those guys.
Well, it looks like it's going to plan. Is the aim just to finish today, or you got a top 5? Or
no, the aim is first to finish, and the second aim will be on the podium. Yeah. That would be great. We're doing stops exactly on the hour. I have no trouble giving away our strategy, and we're running soft tires every stint, changing them every time, because we found out we were about a second faster on them compared to the mediums, and with laps of 32, 33 in an hour per stint, gain that back on track.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, it's looking like it's going well so far.
Yeah. Enjoying it a lot. You put a great series together again. I had every faith in it, but I know it's a bundle of work, and you did a great job, mate.
That's very kind, but I'm still sitting here with my fingers and toes crossed that we make it for the next 9 hours and 50 minutes, but so far so good.
Yeah, very few DNFs yet. Things are looking pretty stable. I had no complaints from my drivers about the lag or something. Only thing for the next time, that live timing tool is well, I think I had to hit the renew button about 100 times already.
Yeah, but it's we will get those issues fixed for next time. But it is quite frustrating because I am refreshing every minute.
but as long as things on the server are stable, the race will go on, and we'll be fine.
Well, thank you for your kind words, and I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the race.
Same to you in your stint, and maybe we'll talk again later as we stay on the server.
Yep, well,
good luck.
To you in a bit. See ya.
Bye-bye.
So during that chat, we've seen a swap. Peter Enders has handed over to Ricardo Azevedo, so they've dropped down to 3rd. So the No Limit guys who did the swap at the first stint, so you see a lot of traffic on that back straight. They're currently in 2nd. Christian Fedge driving that car. Last lap times were fairly similar, I believe. Roman Lubčic's time wasn't too good, so he needs to settle down. His last lap was 1:43.895, so let's see if he can get into his rhythm. Otherwise he'll be quickly caught by the second and third place teams, as there's less than 10 seconds between the top 3 P1 teams. And that looks like Roman Lubcic has had a spin. I don't know if he's hit the wall. We just saw that in the corner. Let's watch a replay here. But he just gets his braking wrong, puts a wheel on the grass, and he's kept it out of the wall, so he's now dropped down to third place. So I don't think Matt Farrow will be too pleased to see that. All his hard work being undone there. I've just been told that, bad news for me, that Roy has gone to take over because Ollie Marius Meerwald has caused some damage to that Viper, so Roy's had to take over. Let's see if we can get him up on screen. Here he is, the man that was commentating 10 minutes ago has now abandoned me. Even though he's still in the channel, but he has muted his headset. Like Steven Secker has made a trip to the pit lane for the no limit P2 Porsche Spider Evo. He's completed his stop, 49 seconds and a half pit stop, so he's going to rejoin in 12th place overall, and that is third place in class. So he's handed over to Tobias Sonnenberg. So welcome to the race, Mr. Sonnenberg. It looks like Roma has settled down a bit. His last lap was a full second faster than the current leader and 7/10 of a second faster than Ricardo Azevedo. Hopefully he can get it under control. So Azevedo is catching Fedge. But the P1 battle is very, very close. Wilfred van der Brink is still up by himself. He's got a lead of 36 seconds now to Stefan Miel, who's second in GT class. And third, just 3 seconds behind the Team RC, is Benjamin Tierman. Hello Alvin, we've just been speaking to your team boss, Mr. Pole, and we're just congratulating you on doing such a good stint.
Yeah, was kinda hard at first because I had 2 or 3 spins on my own, no contact at all. Was just me pushing the car too hard, and then George tried to calm me down, and say, and talking me into just settle into a pace, take it easy, you will get it back, and little by little I start taking positions back, and I think I got into 4th place after my driver swap with Theo, I think.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a good stint. You've got to try and knuckle down, mind your own business, and move up through the field. Did you enjoy it then out there with all the traffic?
Yes, traffic did a good job overall. I found myself that I've definitely improved a lot in terms of having patience and waiting where to pass GT traffic, especially knowing that they don't have the downforce that the prototype cars have, and taking it easy. I know maybe I push it 2 or 3 times, but nothing major happened, fortunately. Sorry for those that I scared just a little bit when passing them, but no, nothing intentional, just trying to do my best, and well, glad I did a good job after all.
Yeah. Well, you got any plans? Are you going to be driving any more stints today?
Well, today I don't plan on driving any more stints since, well, here in the US it's Memorial Day weekend, and this is one big weekend here in the US since it gonna starts officially the summer. And fortunately, I'm gonna be going out with my girlfriend, doing some stuff. We're gonna go to a baseball game and do some more stuff, but I really wanted to drive more, but I just wanted to enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on a good stint, and sounds like you're going to have a nice day today, so yeah, thanks for joining us, and best of luck to your team for the rest of the race.
Yeah, thanks, George, and by the way, good job on putting up this mod, and I gotta say that fortunately the server stays stable and nothing happens.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I don't want anyone to jinx it now, so
Okay, no problem.
Okay, alright, speak to you soon.
Okay, bye.
As we were talking, we saw Paolo Martins come in for a stop. He's going for a 3-hour stint then, or even longer, as he's still in that car, so he's going along nicely. Got the rare endurance 430 in front of him, makes light work of it. There's still 36 runners after 2 hours and 20 minutes. So far so good. I think the majority of people have had internet issues or an overheating engine. And the driving standards so far have been very, very good. Not too many incidents between cars happening on track, and everyone sort of showing respect to their competitors. As the gap at the front, it looks like Veg has put the hammer down a bit, because his last lap was a 41.7, so quite a bit quicker than the two behind. Ricardo Acevedo doesn't look like he's settled down yet, because he's now just 1.7 seconds ahead. He obviously dealt with a load of traffic there, so let's see how Roman Lubcic deals with it. It looks like he's got past him okay. The gap is under 2 seconds. Let's see if he can chase him down. Just a P2 car, I believe that is in front of them. I believe that could be the 15th place overall, and that's Killerfish with Thomas Seeger in the car. I believe that must have been a driver swap that we missed, so welcome to the race. So surely for the next 2 and a bit hours, when I'm in need of some help and some support and here, someone to chat to, obviously you're all welcome, because we're always out driving. Scott's abandoned me, so anyone wants to pop in for a chat, you're very much welcome to. It looks like Damien Budson has been involved in some sort of contact, which is red on my timing screen. He had a very slow first sector, so he was off somewhere in the first sector. Renato Dornell's 405 Motorsport has moved up a few places. He's now 4th overall. He's had some PC issues, so let's hope that goes alright. He said he struggled to see a few people with the amount of cars on track, so it looks like he's going along okay. Hopefully there's no damage on that, because Jeffrey will be taking over from him, and then I'll be taking over from Jeffrey. Actually, that's important. Why isn't Jeffrey in here for a chat? Jeffrey!
Oh yeah.
Best behaviour now. So then, just preparing for your stint then?
Yeah, I was watching TVs.
Well, you're supposed to be taking over in about 8 minutes time.
Yeah, no, so just relaxing.
I hope you've done some practice.
I hope
Race,
so too.
Race pace looking good?
I don't know, I'll tell you in about half an hour.
Well, make sure you keep that car nice and clean, because I'll obviously be taking over from you. You looking forward to the stint or not?
I think so. I don't know how, in what kind of grid and position I'm going to end up, because if I'm going to be doing 2.5 hours of hot lapping, it won't be fun.
Obviously you got the V8 race later as well, and you found it easy deciding what your priority is today?
I'm going to do both, so there's no real priority. I also have to practice for the V8, so all well prepared.
Any news from Renato during his stint? Any issues? Any damage to the car?
Yeah, he's had a few contacts with LMP, so the car is damaged. So I hope that's going to be when I take over.
Yep. Let's hope you don't bring any red damage to the car.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on it, but
Are you looking forward to doing the final stint instead of me? I fancy making you do the last 2 hours.
I don't know how I'm gonna feel after the V8, but I hope.
I'm sure I might come to your rescue if you're feeling a bit tired.
The only difference by then is I would have done some laps in for the last stint.
Well, I've noticed that it's now 6 minutes to go, so I should probably allow you to go off and get ready and speak to Renato. So best of luck with your stint. Don't crash the car, otherwise I'll ban you.
Alright, yeah, well, if I do crash, I'll give you a shout and you can put it on the broadcast.
Alright then, best of luck. See ya.
See ya.
So we're coming up to the GT pit window with 2.5 hours gone, so we're going to see some driver swaps here, I'm sure, because I don't think anyone will be mad enough to go on for 4 hours. So we could see a busy pit lane in a couple of minutes. Wilfred van der Brink still leads, the 39-second lead. So he's continuing where he left off from the RGLMS. Obviously got 5 pole positions, 5 race wins and 5 fastest laps, and obviously one of the fastest drivers out there, and he's looking very tough to beat. But he has warned me that he's saying his teammate isn't as quick as him, so he said he's going to have to push as hard as he can to try and get a margin, because obviously the whole of the Team RC are very, very strong and similar pace, so they'll be probably clawing back some time when Wilfred gives the car to Robin. It looks like there's been a change for second place, because Roma Lubčić is ahead of Ricardo Azevedo, as that looked like quite a messy part of the track, as one of the cars took to the, I believe that was Cyril Renault in the Exigent sim racing car. He had to run out wide, as the Atlantic P1 car now has one of the 05 Motorsport cars, I think, that was running off wide there, unless there was some lag. He gets past the UKNL car. Lee Palmer's still going on, and so too is Renato Dornell's good. I had a bit of a scare there because I couldn't see him in the list, so they're still going on. Okay, so the lead is now up to 14 seconds in P1 after 83 laps. So Christian Fage putting the hammer down. See if the gap increases this time. It was 13.5 seconds. It's now at about 14.5, so he really is gapping Roma Lubčić. Like Oliver Ernst and Roger Klein are in a close battle. This is Viper Power versus Ferrari. Obviously the Viper's got quite a bit more horsepower and torque, so it should catch him down that straight as they head into the final corner. See if he can get a good run to put him under pressure down into turn 1. He's not going to be close enough this time, but if he can stick on his tail through this first complex of corners and get the run down to the hairpin, he should be looking strong for a potential move. As we've got Stefan Miel in red, so something has happened to him. He's had some damage. Let's see if we can get the replay. Coming into the last corner, he's spun it, and I think he's hit the wall. So they're still running, but maybe some damage, I'm not sure. Could have just been some lag. That's lost time then. Here we see Oliver Ernst. As I said, he's got on his tail to that first complex. He's looking for the inside. Not going to get it. Is that Ferrari missing a front splitter? I can't see. Or is it just a black splitter? It is missing a front splitter, so they've had some damage somewhere. Anthony Di Maria is showing up as having an off, so let's see if we can get a replay of that. He heads down to turn 1. Yeah, it looks like he caught or ran out a bit wide, so he needs to avoid doing that. The Roger Decline in 27th will be suffering some understeer going into the corners. Help him down the straight, so he'll be a bit quicker. But I would have expected Oliver Ernst to be getting past him by now, but it doesn't look like it's hurting him too much, as the Scuderia Bolas Negro cars going on okay as Wilfred van der Brink pits. Will this be a driver swap? This is leader of GT class. The BMW went longer last time. It's quite a way back. Has it already gone past? No, it hasn't. So Stefan Miel lost a place, so he's down to third. He lost it to the No Limit team. So let's see if this is fuel and tyres for Wilfred van der Brink. I think he went mediums last time and changed them, so judging by this time it does look like they're putting mediums on, but will it be a driver swap?
Hey George.
I have been joined by Jean-Marie Zimmer. What happened with
Steph made a spin when we were talking with him about the fuel service next lap.
it looked like an uncharacteristic error.
Yes.
And but this is that was your opportunity now, because Wilfred van der Brink is out of that car. So you need to go and scream at your drivers. This is the time where you really need to make up the time, because obviously Robin Vertigal has announced that he's not as fast as Wilfred.
So for information, full service, fuel, tires and driver swap.
Okay, so who's going to be taking over the car?
Jonathan Dion.
Okay, both Dion brothers are driving today?
Yes.
Okay.
Jimmy Dion will be behind the wheel tonight.
Okay. And who's the stronger out of the two, Dion's and
Jimmy.
Okay then. Is there much of a difference in race pace between Stefan Miel and Jonathan?
Sorry?
Is there much difference in speed between Steph and Jonathan?
Yes, Steph is the quickest.
Okay. Alright, so he'll be boxing this lap then, yeah?
Yes.
Okay then, thanks for that information.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go, headlights are on, moves to the inside. Let's see, is the No Limit car going to be pitching as well? Doesn't look like it, he's staying out. So in comes Stefan Miel. Looks like he got that spot on that pit entrance. So it's going to be around a 50-second stop. There you see the tyres being changed. I believe Michael Springer is also in the pits. That looks like Neil Tasker coming in with some damage on that M3. Definitely got some damage on there. So he's fixing that. Jeffrey Ruskus has entered the race. He's down to 8th now with that pit stop and driver change. Hope he can put together some decent laps. There we are, we see Jonathan Dion takes over. So we have a new GT leader. He's been the GT leader for the last couple of laps with Wilfred and Steph's mistake. So Benjamin Tierman, who we haven't seen too much of today, leads for the No Limit #1 GT car. So they're obviously being quite economical with their fuel, and let's see if he pits this time round. Hasn't got his headlights on, so he's not giving us a clue. He's staying quite tight, so I think he is going to pit in. And he's going round again. Let me see if I can see if his pit stops are out of position. Looks like there's been an incident with some P2 cars as Manuel Nemechek and Theo Badri are showing up with some damage. They're both pitting in. This is an unscheduled stop. Let's see if we can get a replay of that. Looks like we're going to have lag instead. There we are. That's where something has happened. So in the final corner. And he's also made a mistake coming into his pit box. Quite sure what happened there. Let's see if we can get a replay. So he comes in, pulls in and just gets it all wrong. So it looks like we just had a bit of a technical issue with the broadcast. We are able to return. We probably won't have the overlays as we will be in spectator mode. So very, very strange that you get those random mismatches in the middle of a race. And it looks like we've lost Michael Volker during that time, as they have now DNF'd. So the clock will show 0. There's not much we can do about that, but we can keep up with the broadcast. Apologies for the delay in commentary. I'm just speaking with Lutzanger to see if there's anything we can do with the overlay, because it's a bit distracting at the moment with some of the information it gives. But yeah, we will just have to use the live timing and navigate through to the cars. Frustrating, I know, but we can't account for kind of issues that are random. Well then, update to the running order. Christian Fedge leads in P1 class for No Limit. In second place is Ram Lubcic for 05 Motorsport. Third place Ricardo Azevedo for Atlantic Racing Team. Fourth place is Cyril Renault for Exigence Sim Racing. Fifth place is Damien Budson. They've been involved in quite a few issues today in the Feeder Sport Poland car. And I'm just going to pause as I allow Lutz to do some stuff on the PC. Okay then, so I can continue with the running order now. Damien Budson is up to 5th. In 6th place is Christian Ackermann for Rhinos Esports. 7th is Bradley Vanian. 8th is Philip Jaeger, who's taken over from the Motorsport for All leading P2 car. 8th overall. In 9th is Tobias Sonnenberg, 2nd in P2, driving for No Limit. As he's just made a bit of a trip to the wall. Let's see if we can get a replay of that. As he's carried too much speed, I believe. And it is. Just outbraked himself and lost the back end. That's going to be some damage there for him. behind him is a P1 car, Andre Wolf. He's in 10th place overall and 8th in P1. Third in P2 is Paolo Martins. Fourth in P2 is Thomas Seeger. Michael Folker, who DNF'd, is now missing from the server, so we're watching the Killerfish car, I believe, or Speedy Gonzalez car, sorry, of Manuel Nemchek, who's 5th. 6th in P2 is Theo Badri. 7th is Roy Schroten. 8th is Conrad Barr. And rounding off the last runners and in the pits, 4E Racing Propulsion is Anthony Di Maria, or Meira. Not quite sure how to pronounce that one. Leading GT, and let's take a look at these lap times. It's Robin Vertigal for Sim Racing for Holland, his last time not coming up at the moment. It looked quite slow. It was come on, live timing update. Oh, I believe he's being caught, by Patrick Vester. That gap's now down to 32 seconds. It was at nearly 40 before, so Patrick Vester taken over the no limit Porsche 997 GT car. It's second in GT. Third place is Killerfish with Sasha Engelhardt, so Jonathan Dion is down to fourth place in GT. Fifth place is the first of the 05M GT cars, currently being driven by Jeffrey Ruskus. He's 5th in GT. In 6th is the T2SP Endurance team. That car currently being driven by Vicente Fernandez. I've just been poked, and just behind him, this is a battle for position for 6th overall, and I have been joined by Stan Osterdahl.
Hi George, hi the rest of the viewers.
We had a small blip. We're now running in spectator mode because the broadcast car decided it wanted to mismatch.
Yeah, I've seen this while driving, and I just thought, okay, what's going on now?
I didn't understand that one because it was just sitting in the pit lane, and then it decided to mismatch, so just some random mismatch or netcode issue going on there. But we're back in with spectator mode, so.
As long as it works.
Yep.
How was the race? I haven't seen a lot of it. Only my part.
It's going on well so far. The closest battles are in P1, and GT has been pretty close, and P2 has pretty much been led from start to finish by Motorsport for All. But it's looking good so far. Still quite a lot of guys running, not too many DNFs.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I mean, I've seen that the P1 guys are battling pretty hard, and that's what I thought. I mean, No Limit and Atlantic Racing Team, they are really close to each other with lap times. And I mean, I know the No Limit guys from the RLMS, so I know they are pretty good. But it looked good from the GT side, except from one or two guys being a bit too aggressive by lapping, but it was okay.
Yeah. Well, so far so good. The servers been standing up alright. We've been going for nearly 3 hours and no issues. I think no one's complained of any lag, and so fingers crossed, good luck can continue.
Yeah, sure, I hope so. I mean, I had a funny thing, but it was about my computer. Suddenly my wheel decided to disconnect and connect, what gave me a bit of a hard time in the car. And I was driving with a little bit stutched throttle pedal, but then it disappeared and everything was fine back again.
Are you doing any more stints later?
Yeah, sure. Marcel will do his stint right now, and then I do the stint again. We are only 2 guys on the car for today, so yeah, we try to fight through. I forgot.
It's gonna be about 6 hours each then.
Yeah, at least. I mean, I was a bit surprised. I was used to double stint a car from the P1 class, and I thought, okay. I mean, it was like something around 1 hour 45 minutes. It's okay. Can handle this. And the GT cars can go a bit longer, or something like an hour longer. So it was really hard the last lap to keep the car on track. And then we had also a funny thing. I reached my pit place and the engine turned off because there was no fuel. So it was really, I mean, the tires were nearly gone and were close to explode. The engine was off, so I think I pulled out the maximum out of the car. So let's see how it works out for Marcel. I think he's doing pretty good. He's trying to keep it stable on stable lap times. Yeah, and let's see where we got. I mean, I've recognized that we can go a bit longer than the other guys, or some other guys in GT. So let's see where it ends up in the end.
It was obviously still 18 runners in GT. You're currently 9th, so it's decent points at the moment, but a long way to go.
We are not driving for the position. I mean, we have a goal to keep the car on the track, to not crash the car. Unfortunately, I got punched twice. One was when I was lapping a GT car. He came just a bit too close and touched me a little bit in the back. Second time was a P1 car hitting me with no reason, because it was in a hairpin. He was far away. He decided to stay behind me till I exit the hairpin, but don't know why. Suddenly he punched just my back. So I had to take a long turn over the grass, but the car is running fine so far. So we try not to throw it away, not to end up in a wall or something like this. Yeah, and then we see if we can make the top 10 or not. That's the points aren't our goal. It's just to finish the season, to learn. For me, it's 2 years gone that I was driving GT cars. For Marcel, it is the first time double stinting a car. So there's a lot to learn, and we hope that at the end of the season we have learned enough to start for the next season.
Yep.
With some higher goals. But top 10 would be phenomenal. Sorry, I would like to talk something about on the track, but I see nothing. So
it looks like there's a battle between Jeffrey Ruskus and Jonathan Dion. Here it is. There's the battle for 4th place, I believe. So the Team RC guys going backwards a little bit. Jeffrey Ruskus obviously has come up to speed quite quickly and going along nicely. So he's putting Jonathan Dion under some pressure. They've got the Feeder Sport P1 car lapping them.
Okay, George, I will just leave you because I need to grab some food and to relax a bit before I get into the car for the next 2.5 hours.
Okay then.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Later on also your stint. I think it will be a night stint.
I'll try my best. I've got 2 stints later at night.
Yeah, then have fun there, and we hear from each other later on, I think.
Okay then. Thanks for joining us and best of luck.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, thanks. Bye-bye.
Now it looks like Jeffrey Ruskus has got the inside. Beautiful move going into that last corner. Jonathan Dion doesn't look like he's been settled since he got in that car. Quite a bit of traffic here and he concedes the place early, and there's some contact between 2 of the P2 cars. Let's see who that is. One of them was the E-Racing Propulsion, the other one I believe was the Speedy Gonzalez car. There it is rejoining now, so didn't quite see what happened there. But Jeffrey Ruskus then up to 4th. His last time was 2:03.6, so quite slow, but Jonathan Dion is the one that's struggling, so he's going to be dropping back slowly. Jeffrey Ruskus has now got 18 seconds to find to catch third place man Sasha Engelhardt. And I'm just going to leave you on board with these two for a couple of minutes while I nip to the toilet. I've just been joined by someone. Hello?
Yeah, hi George.
Could you give me 2 minutes? I'm just bursting for the toilet. I will be back in 2 minutes. Okay, then I'm back. So we've been joined by Atlantic Racing team driver Ajak Milisiewski. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah, it's half right, we could say. It's Milashevsky.
Oh, okay. I was close.
Yeah.
So you're driving in GT, I believe, today?
No, we are driving the P2 car.
Oh, I was used to seeing you in... Didn't I race you in the RTLMS and GT class? Or am I going bonkers?
No, I think you are mistaken, because I was driving till now each time the GT car, and this season we simply wanted to try something different.
Oh, okay.
And we made the run with the second P2 car.
Yeah. So, how long about till you get in the car then?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. Because of the traffic, the fuel consumption is fluctuating pretty badly on our case, but it should be like another 30 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
For some reason the fuel consumption is really low, so... really damaged P1, I think.
Yeah, that's the Optimum Motorsport car. I believe that is... who's that in the car at the moment? Who on car? That is currently Bradley Vanian in that car, driving around with 3 wheels, so he'll need to get that back to the pits safely, and if he overshoots his box they won't repair that, so he needs to stop nice and early. If his teammates are watching, tell him whatever he does not to overshoot his pit box. Sorry to interrupt you then. So,
no problem.
when are you planning on getting in the car then?
Yeah, so we are planning about the driver swap in about 30 minutes. Plus minus, I would say 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, the strategy for the rest is not clear now, because I couldn't start the race, was working today, so we needed to improvise a little bit. But I think it should be like 2 or 3 hour stints in our case for each driver.
Yep.
And we will see how it will go on my stint.
Yep. Well, so far Paolo's done a great job. He's done nearly a 3 hour stint, hasn't he?
Yes, he's doing 3 stints in a row. So he's doing an amazing job. Unfortunately, I think like 5 or 7 laps ago, he had a contact with a GT car that changed the line on the last moment. So we are losing a little bit of time now per lap. We hope it will go back up after the pit stop when we do the repairs.
Yep. Okay then, well, thanks for joining us, and best of luck with the rest of the race.
Yeah, thanks. Good.
Okay.
Best of luck for your stint later on.
Thank you.
See you on track.
See ya. So we have a new race leader, as Michael Muller has taken the No Limit car again. Probably their fastest driver. So we've got Roma Lubchik leading from Ricardo Azevedo in second. Michael Muller, who has stopped to take over the cars, now in third. Cyril Renault is fourth for Exigent Sim Racing. Fifth is Christian Ackermann. Sixth is Damien Budson. Seventh in P1. They finally made it in. I think Bradley Vanian was waiting to get a driver on the server so they could do a driver swap. He stops in the box and it looks like they've got it stopped in time. So that car will be repaired and will live to fight another day. But we're expecting the P1 leaders in any moment now, so here we are. There's current leader Roman Lubchik as he heads towards the hairpin. So I would be surprised if he goes another lap. Maybe he's saving more fuel than Matt Farrow, I don't know. I didn't get to hear how much fuel them guys were using in practice, so be interesting to see. He's got the UK NL P2 car just in front of him. If he can navigate that, he flashes his lights and just about gets past. So he heads on to the back straight. You do have to ignore these overlays that are going on at the moment. They're all completely wrong and out of sync. Obviously with us having to reconnect in spectator mode, it's stopped all the overlays working correctly. So Lubchik stays out for another lap. Let's see if Azevedo does the same. He should do, because they're going longer, so he goes around for another lap. Couple of cars further down are in the pits. That's Andre Wolf in the Racetech OMT car. They're 7th in P1 and 10th overall. Also in the pits was the Killerfish P2 car. That's 4th in P2, that's Thomas Seeger in that car. And Bradley Vanian is still in the pits. A very long stop for them. Looks like he's got going again, so Jonathan Motteram is taking over earlier than probably he expected to, with Bradley only doing an hour stint. They rejoin the race in some clean air with just one of the Porsche 997s ahead of them. Also got Cyril Renault in the pits from 4th place. Oh, he's just come out the pit lane, so they've made their stop. No driver swap there. Another hour for Cyril in the car. And the leader is now pitting, so there's Roman Lubchik, and he's now been overtaken by Ricardo Azevedo, who now leads the race for the first time. And Roma gets going again, so that'll be just fuel that time. I don't think he's changed his tyres because it's a pretty quick stop. Let's see if Michael Muller's going to come past. It's going to be close, I think he just will get it. I've been joined by Bradley Vanian. What happened, Bradley?
Just sort of a few laps into my second half of my stint after a pit stop, and I just hit the curb at the exit of turn 3 and just sent me spinning into the opposite wall. Managed to drive back to the pits, had to wait at the pit entrance for Jonathan Motteram to take over, do a driver swap, an unplanned driver swap, and then, well, we lost a wheel in there, but the wheel was fixed in the pit stop, and we lost 5 positions, but Jonathan's now driving with no damage, so it should be okay.
Yeah, I thought that's what you were doing, waiting there. That was the best move to do to get another driver in the car. And it was also good that you didn't overshoot your pit box. So
yeah, we had a bit of a conversation about that. Don't overshoot, don't overshoot!
It's good that you're still in it, obviously. Long way to go. So you just got to survive, as we've now been joined by Jonathan Motteram, so that's not good.
Yeah, my wheel just did a double downshift when I shifted down and lost it.
Ooh.
Very frustrating. Yeah.
That's an interesting end to the race.
That's some hard luck. Was it double downshift on the paddle shifter then, or?
Yeah. I'll have to look at my settings, my PLR file, I think.
Yeah. So that does both cars out the race for you guys then.
Yeah, well, it wasn't looking too bad up to, when Bradley had his incident. I think we had something like a 3-minute gap to the P1 car behind us.
Yeah, the other R10.
Well, I'm sure you guys will be back for the Nürburgring. Is it a track you guys like, or not big fans of it?
I don't mind it, but it'll be interesting.
I think I'll find out when I test.
I think it'll be interesting to see what the overtaking will be like there.
Yeah.
Around like the fast corners.
Yeah, there's that high-speed S bend, isn't there? Sort of 2/3 of the way lap in, and the P1s will be absolutely flying to there. But turn 1's going to be interesting as well, because obviously the types will brake very late there, but they don't have much grip in the slow speed corners, so the GT cars will be obviously putting them under pressure on the exits. But interesting. I've never done a big endurance race there, so it'll be a first for me, running 40 plus cars there.
Yeah.
So any plans for the rest of the day, seeing as obviously you've had plans in for everyone driving today and it's come to an end now, so what you guys do you do for the rest of the day?
Well, I got my V8 race a bit later, so at Adelaide, which will be interesting.
Yeah, very tough track.
I think we saw PCC for the feature race. Half of the field didn't finish.
Yeah. The number has high attrition there with the wall speed so close it, and it's almost an endurance race, the one today at Adelaide, isn't it?
Yeah,
a bit longer.
Think it's about hour 20, I think.
Yeah. Normally they're an hour, and you feel pretty tired after an hour in those.
Yeah.
Anyone else you're supporting in this race? Any teams? Now that you guys are out.
Well, Roy Stroughton, who's our
SRS.
Yeah. Well, he's one of our teammates in V8s actually. We're hoping he does well.
Yeah, there he is. Oh, he was.
Let's see if we can get him back again. There he is. They did drive in the RDLMS. He had his own team last season, didn't he? With his brother.
Yeah,
I believe they were driving together, so he's obviously teamed up with some of those guys, as he's just lost it and lost his rear wing in the final corner.
Oh.
So commentators cursing him there, so he'll be straight into the pits to fix that one.
Well, at least he crashed close to the pit lane.
There's still a long way to go into this race. I've still got a long time to my shift, so I've still got a long time sitting here controlling these cameras, so the more time people spend in here, the better. As I pray for Roy to come back, he's still in car. Let's see if we can get him up on the screen. In his Viper.
Yeah, I must say that the driving standards has been really good by all drivers, really low attrition rate, and also, I didn't have any major problems with any back markers, well, GTs, so really good driving by all.
It has looked good so far, as Roy comes into the pits. He should be doing another stint now, so only 1 hour and 15 minutes to go before he's back. And so, did it blow the engine when you double downshift, Jonathan?
Yeah. I mean, I went from fourth to first, and yeah, engine just went. And I lost a wheel, I think, after going to the barrier after that. Yeah. I mean, especially as what we had with Bradley having his incident, and we managed to fix that.
Well, can I leave you guys talking here for one moment because I'm being summoned by someone.
Okay.
So feel free to waffle.
You still controlling cameras? Or?
Yeah, I am, but yeah, just feel free to talk about anything you want. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
So just the RMI car, just leaving the pit lane. That's the full Norwegian team. Going the Viper. Well, what brilliant shots there of just tons of ETs, P1s and P2 car just going through Sunset Bend. Oh, and that pit him. So, Jonathan, how was the preparation for the event?
Well, I think we could have done more work on setup and strategy, I think, was the main thing.
Yeah, with the setup, it's really important that all the drivers in the team feel comfortable with the setup, of course.
Yeah, I mean, particularly with changing the Aston, but I mean, we got a setup in the end for a race, but I mean, we never got to really test it through long stints and stuff, so. And also the doing double stints with hard tyres. I mean, we